probably already know this, but quality of work varies between contractors. Safety is number one of those. I've seen a lot of really scary things hung above people's heads, right? So rigging. The quality of work somebody does. So at Summit, we use grade 8 materials, we use domestic hardware. What does that mean? It means it costs more and it's not gonna fall on somebody's head because it has engineered testing behind it. You take a shackle, for instance. The shackle is how we hang loudspeakers and screens and LED walls. You can buy those from China as imported, or you can buy those from Chicago manufacturing. And it's a 5x cost, right? It costs $1.42 to buy a 5/8 shackle, probably imported from China. But it costs $5 or $6 to buy one that's domestic. But we know there's engineering specifications. There's a weight rating ratio. There's a safety ratio on those. We use that because we value people's safety, and we think it's worth the cost. But if you're comparing bids, that's something important to know. What type of cable is this? What type of rigging hardware is this? What type of product is this? Is it B stock? Is it C stock? What type of extension cables are used? There can be a very big cost difference. And just know it. Maybe you want the cheaper stuff. Maybe that's okay. But just ask the questions. What is this included? Because again, it might not be apples to apples. It might be apples to oranges. There's some other considerations to think about as well when comparing different companies. So just look at their reputation, right? Their history. Go and do some research. Ask about projects they've done. What's the reputation in the industry? I would encourage you to look beyond 1 or 2 flagship projects. Every company has those projects they're proud of, which is awesome. We do too. But what else do they have? What about the ones they're not putting on the front of their website? How did those go for the client? How many repeat customers do they have? That's a great measure of, did a company do what they said they're going to do? Something else we've seen a lot with different companies is this company based on 1 or 2 key staff members? Are you hiring this company because of a person, 1 or 2 people there? What happens if those people leave? We've seen that before. You're making a big investment long term. Are you confident in the company's capabilities, or do you really like what this one guy does? Something else to think about is, what's the ownership of the company? Do you know who the owner is? Are they still active in the company? What is the company's mission and value based on that ownership? What are they trying to achieve? Is it aligned with who you are and what your mission is? What else does the company do, right? Is there competing visions and there competing goals and competing industries that could make your project fall to a back burner? It's important to know who owns the company. I would ask a question around labor. Labor is a huge part of what your project is likely. Ask every contractor how they approach that. Are they using subcontractors, or are they full-time employees? Are they part-time employees for that company? At Summit, we think it's important, and we always have had full-time employees who do our install work. For us, that can mean we better train them on our process, our methods, our excellence. They're a part of our team, our culture. They care about our mission and vision. A lot of times, it's standard practice in the AV industry is to hire out contractors for the whole install. So one day, this contractor will go put on his shirt for company A, and the next day he'll show up with his shirt for company B or C, and that's normal. But when you have a subcontractor, their buy-in to what the project and in solution is much less than if you have one company who contains all elements of that.